Hello and welcome to TTFL GP2 round 2. We are at the Temple of Speed, which is Monza. Why have I got no audio? Hopefully this lobby is going to behave the TTFL race tonight. The lobby was glitchy as hell, which is apparently down to the Team of the Year FIFA update and the EA servers being absolutely hammered. We've got audio. We've got a track map. So we are ready to get underway. Obviously full grid tonight, so full qualifying. Followed by a fast-paced race. We'll wait for the drivers to make their way out. I'll just set the standings up on screen, so as you can see, DXC Games out, leading the way. Hopefully he's had some support work done on his back as he's carrying the Aston Martin team. Johnny Stokes off the form a little there, only sitting in third currently in the standings. In constructors, Aston Martin back out in front again. Alfa Romeo hot on the heels behind, followed by the McLarens of Moyland and Lister. So we have got a driver out on track, and it is Venom in the Ferrari. His teammate tonight isn't able to race, so Andreas is filling in. Making his way down towards Ascari. Lister and Ashley also on their out laps. Lister running down in a hotel tonight. Hopefully the connection holds up for him. Vader will be along shortly to join me on comms. As Venom gets it very sideways out of Parabolica there, that's going to affect his run for his first timed run. So he'll be going for a second warm-up lap now, not running any ERS. Really approaching turn one with approaching turn one with any pace. So we'll come back to Lister, it will be the next across the line to start their first time run as Frenzy retires in the pits. So Lister losing it on the Parabolica as well. Hopefully he can get the car moving before Aswin comes round. Aswin managing to hold on, running the hard tyre for this first quali session. Let's get the top detail up. So Andreas, Pedro, the Inters, no, they rocked it against that. So we'll stay on board with Aswin as he is just behind Lister, so we'll get the benefit of a tow. Connections looking quite glittery. Hopefully it stabilises by the time we get to the race. So Aswin now just coming to the end of sector 2. Lesmo 2, now the run up to Ascari. So first time at 1:38.8. Not a competitive time. Ascari. Bit difficult to see if it was a smooth entry there, as everything's thumping on my screen. Lister crosses the line a 123. Athwin does a 122. And RKS does a 121.3. So Lister and Athwin both on hard tyres. Mrs. Cole does a 123.6 as Evan crosses the line a 120.9. So good lap from Evan there. Zodak a 23.1. Kyle a 21.4. Just snuck in. Johnny Stokes up into fourth with a 21.6. Obviously only need to get into the top 15. As we've lost Lister from the session, so I'll quickly re-invite. And it's saying he's already back in. Hopefully Lister does get back in without issue. Andreas starting his lap on the inters. Only driver to try and get through Q1 on the inters. Progresses round now. So it's a McLaren round. I think that was Moyland having a moment. Probably sitting second. On a 21.1. Vader should be with us at some point between now and Q2. And he's just getting some tweet. Let's drop back and see how Andreas is getting on as he approaches Parabolica. What sort of time can he set on the inters? Crosses the line a 122.6, takes him into 8th place as Pedro does 20.917. So 17 hundredths off of the time set by Evan. Pushing at the minute, doing the 2 outlap warm-up lap method. So I'm doing last week as well. So 38.1 is his first official time, but that was a warm-up. Validated. James Alston in the pits, Decky in the pits. Venom crosses the line to start a flying lap. Let's ping Lister another invite, see if it'll let me. Another invite sent to Lister, so hopefully he can get back in. Hopefully no overtaking signs are out in the corners, can't be having that. You just need to be patient. Wait for the straight. Wait for that point where you'll be under pressure from the drivers behind, so the driver in front doesn't feel intimidated. And anyone who wasn't watching TTFL will have no idea what that's all about. We've got Venom has a moment on the exit of Ascari. That's not going to help this lap. Has he got the fuel? The rest is going to be marginal. Could get another lap in. Hobo in the Hobo will be in the pits because he's run off to go and try and get some prime. Hopefully he's back before the end of Q1 because he might find himself starting this race on a default setup. Speedy's invalidated and is trying to keep out of everyone's way on the run to Parabolica. Frames out on their outlaps. We'll ride on board with our Drivers' Championship leader. See how he gets on his first timed run around Monza. DRS open. Flat out all the way to the break-in, about the 120, 110 metre board. Nicely through 1 and 2. Long right-hander of 3. To the second chicane. 26.2 from James there through sector 1. Nicely through the second chicane. Into Lesmo 1. Out to the curb nicely into Lesmo 2. Not taking a lot of curb on the exit. DRS open. Now the run up to Ascari. A bit of a distant time. Nicely through Ascari. Decky had a moment in Ascari and has found the wall. James now making his way into Parabolica. Runs it out wide. Now Fortis run to the line, crosses the line a 120.5. So 3/10, just over 3/10 up on Evan, taking James into provisional pole. Moyland has retired in the pits, feeling confident on that 121. On the hards, Coles retired in the pits. Mrs. Coles invalidated the current lap. Another, coming into the pits. So that's not pushing this lap. Night Snipers on an out lap. Womax is just through turn 3. Scotty getting on. Currently sitting on that 138. 15 seconds up. His previous lap was very wide on the exit of Ascari. Keeps it from being invalidated though. Now the run to Parabolica. I think Dars looks resettled connection wise. Game's drowning you out a little bit away. Drop the audio down. It was 18. Hopefully that brings the game audio down and my audio up. So Scotty did improve a 121.3. I need to move that screen up to there so I can actually see it. And then Discord back up here. Oh, that's better. Everything's in the right place. Let's see, how did Night Sniper get on? A 23.5 for Night Sniper, sits in currently in 13th. 25.5 for Womax has the driver at risk, currently sitting in 15th. Venom needing to improve over that 138. And Lister has got back in. probably just enough time to get out if he wants to try and set a better lap.
Good evening.
Oh, welcome back. What did you find to eat in the end?
The rest of dinner.
Fair. No, if it weren't for the fact everyone in the house is asleep, I'd be ordering something through Uber and getting the wife to bring it out to me, but I don't think she'll be too impressed if someone knocks the door. So Venom does improve up into 6 with a 21.2, so that should see him safely through into Q2.
Hobo's also better lap.
That means Hobo's back. Did he find his prime?
I don't know.
Did he beat up 12-year-olds?
The upper 12-year-old.
Andreas currently the driver at risk at 122 on the inters. Bit of a gamble that may not pay off. So Night Sniper's still on track, not improving on the current lap. Lister now on another out lap as he's just got back into the lobby. So it's Zodak on an out lap. Night Sniper is going for another run, and Lister, the 3 drivers currently in the knockout zone. We've lost Decky through Ascari, and Frenzy retired in the pits. Andreas has made it out of the pits. I hope that yellow flag to clear so I can see how long's left on the session. See if he's going to have time to make it round. Oh, he could make it round. Who is going to make it through? Rumax retiring in the pits. Speedy's back in the pits. Athwin's out on track. So I think Night Sniper's going to be the first to cross the line. Technically will have time to go for another lap if he needs to, but I don't think he'll have the ERS to do it. Crosses the line, he does improve, but it doesn't move him up, so he's still sitting in 17th, and those soft tyres must be absolutely screaming now after 4 quali laps.
I believe from the drop zone, the next across the line would be Lister.
So Johnny Stokes will be the last to cross the line. He literally just started another flying lap. Lister now into Parabolica. Needs to keep it tidy. Does, brings it back over towards the pit wall, crosses the line, a 121.3, moves Lister up into 8th as Ashwin goes fastest of all with a 120.4.
And Zodak comes across with, he improves, but it's not quite enough.
121.9 puts him in 16th, so Andreas now... I've selected Andreas and it's showing me the Haas. There we go.
Was it an invalidation? No. What's the track limits there then? Out
of Ascari, if you
yeah.
go over the line on the right hand side and keep it off, stay over the line past the end of the curb, you get away with it. As Andreas does set the fastest lap with a 120.2, so we will be losing at the end of this session. Speedy, I didn't see Speedy get dropped down. So it's, I better get the results as well.
Yeah, don't forget them.
So it's Speedy, Zodak, Night Sniper, Decky, and Frenzy out at the end of Q1. As we now wait for the start of Q2. Hobo did manage to get some prime. How many 12-year-olds did you have to beat up to get that?
He only answered one question. So he either did beat up kids and he doesn't want to admit it.
He'd admit it. He's not afraid to admit beating up a 12-year-old to get a soft drink. I really don't get the fascination with this prime.
I don't either. I think it's just the fact, obviously, the two names behind it, isn't it?
Mm.
I got the last three.
Or the last three 12-year-olds, or the last three bowls of prime? Specifics. We need specifics.
Kids wasn't happy.
Still don't say if you battered them or if you just got the last three bottles of prime. Obviously, we're kidding. Hobo would never beat up 12-year-olds. Not if there's more than one of them.
In it, they'd beat him up.
So, Johnny Stokes first out onto track. Trying to reassert his dominance as the team leader for Aston Martin.
Yeah, being carried, as James Howe says. Saying that his back hurting.
So Johnny's still feeling confident to go out on the hards for his second run.
Yeah, that's in chat. My poor back. We'll remember all of these comments at the end of the season, James. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that one's going to be saved and screenshotted so you can't delete it. To be fair, Johnny's former teammate was
part-timer.
Part-timer, and
DXT part-timer.
Who's not here again tonight?
Oh, is he actually a racer this season?
Yeah, he's still racing. His teammates with Rumax.
Oh, Rumax, I feel sorry for you, man.
So is Connie going to give Scotty a nice no, because he's not. Scotty's not behind Connie. Right, let's jump on board with Connie as he makes his way down to turn one. Mrs. Cole just behind will be getting the benefit of the tow. Those soft tyres as well will keep her in the slipstream nicely. Connie's now in towards the second chicane. He clouts that inside sausage curb and gets a little bit of a wobble. Doesn't seem to have cost him too much time. Now into the DRS on the run towards Ascari. This time as he goes through timing zone of 54.3 through sector 2. Keeps it nicely on the exit. Heading down towards Ascari. Back across towards the pit wall and we'll cross the line. A 1:21.7 from Johnny on the hard tyres. Good time from Johnny there. Mrs. Cole did a 22.1 as Kyle goes provisional pole on a 21.2. Ashwin on a 21.4 as Scotty takes over the provisional pole on a 21.1. Then James Howe snatches it on a 21-1, only 500ths faster than Scotty. Scotty on the used medium tyre as well. So Scotty's got some pace.
Seems to have found his mojo a bit.
Lister doing a 122.1, currently in 7th on the hard tyre. Womack's first in this session into the 120s with a 120.9. So great time from Womack's there. Who's just jumped up the order? That's Pedro on a 121.3, goes up into 5th. Hobo just starting his lap just through 1 and 2. Now the long right-hander of 3. Brings it out to the left-hand side before pulling it back across to the right for the entry to the chicane.
Oh,
Cuts too much curb on the exit, which spins him, luckily, only into the infield.
Yeah, the additions of those curbs, because they weren't. Those two curbs weren't in the last game, were they? The two.
They
raised.
were, they just weren't as
Oh, really?
raised, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Sausage
horrible.
curbs on this game are horrendous.
Yeah, it's horrible. I think sausage curbs in general.
Yeah, they're a bad idea.
I see why they're in. Like, I see the idea behind them, but I think they definitely not on
Was it last year Silverstone in the F2? Or was that the year before? Where someone got it out of shape coming into the final couple of corners. Ended up going across the grass and launched off the sausage curb straight into the halo of one of the other drivers. And there is a clip circling of an Aston Martin
Yeah, the Aston
TT3,
Martin GP2, that's the one that I've seen. Where
and
it
that was here. That was at Monza.
it rips the door off and rips completely flips the car. Oh, a message from James. We've got rain for the race. So
Rain for the race, and he's got more points than Lulu already, which, yeah, it's not hard.
you've probably got more races than Lulu as well.
So Benham's snuck into second when none of us were paying attention with a 121.0. He did put a message in the Discord that he didn't realise it was full quali, so his soft tyre allocation's a bit limited now.
I don't think it matters too much anymore, though, does it? Because the soft tyres are very rarely touched in race.
Yeah, unless there's a late safety car, they are more of a quali only tyre now. Certainly in the game, anyway.
Yeah, just reminds me of the old super softs. It just fall off.
Yeah. So Hobo manages to get a competitive time in, a 121.2, takes him into 6th. It's a decent time on a used set of softs.
Yeah, let's set that right.
Moyland currently in 10th. Say is on a warm-up lap. Mrs. Cole just starting another time lap, currently sitting in 11th, making her way round turn 3. If we go coming to the end of their lap, and first is just starting. RKS is invalidated.
We had a sideways car. And, let's see who it was.
Might have been Evan, because he's just come through a yellow. No, there's a yellow sector 2 and 3.
It was the is it beginning of sector 3? What's I can't remember. I can't even remember what the name of these corners are called.
Ascari is the left, right, left.
Yeah. The list is the left, right, left. That's where it was. At the exit, there was a sideways curve.
Lister is currently out of fuel as Andreas crosses the line to start his flying lap. He must have invalidated his previous run. Mrs. Cole up into 4th on the 21.1. Mrs. Cole's got some pace today.
I don't say I saw it at P6 in TTFL.
Yeah, managed to avoid most of the carnage that was going on. It's coming round Parabolica now to set his first timed lap in the session. Across the line on a 21.2 takes him into 8th. So from 1st to 10th, it's 4 tenths separating them.
So unlucky from Wumax. I think he was definitely on to break that. His current P1 time, but he very wide. Out of the final corner, and I think he might have invalidated, which is why he called into the pits. Look at Discord. Who?
James just tagging Lulu, who fell asleep for last week's race, which is why he didn't take part.
They're not woke up.
I'll be there in a way. He ticked earlier that he weren't attending today. He didn't give a reason though.
Oh, he's probably out. What was it? Am I allowed to say it on the stream?
He's out on the sesh.
He's out on the sesh. Was it women, some illegal substances, and a lot of alcohol or something?
So Andreas has done a 20.1.
Stashing the Crocs and the shorts. You know that, James.
Crocs and socks.
Crocs and socks.
Thought he'd be in it. Showing off about. I'm assuming the photo he posted earlier was him passing. He had football. You had fucking football. You're too old for that now. Oh no, he was practicing to be a lorry driver. He was out killing prostitutes.
Mountain Central Reservation.
Oh, I need to find that photo. It's been a while since it was posted. Yeah, come on, Lulu. Oh wait, you can't. You see, it's been allocated.
Have you got a full 20?
Yeah.
Sorry, Lulu.
Full grid, which is what we like to see.
Yeah, no part-time races here, mate.
We're going to be hot with the attendance as well this
Hobo
season.
coming across the line. Does he improve? Oh, P2.
Where did you find that pack? Oh,
he's finished. He's finished that bottle of Prime. That's what that is.
Might have to request an illegal substance test for Hobo then.
Yeah, we'll have a doping.
Evan with a 20.1 to go second, 800ths off of Andreas. So the pace is definitely coming out.
Did he crash or did he retire in the pits? That's a very.
Oh, I don't want to look at Race Director because it broke last week.
I'll have a look. If it breaks for me.
You can just follow on stream.
No?
feeling confident. That 21-2.
Well, he's still got Johnny. He's still got Johnny and well,
there you go,
Johnny
up to
Gal.
third.
Yeah, that was a. I don't know. I don't know what. Maybe there was a reason behind it. Maybe
Maybe. Yeah, he did his runs on the medium, so saving softs, hoping for late safety car, or if it is a wet race, if it dries up towards the end.
feeling confident about turn 1 carnage. That's what he's doing.
It's highly likely.
Got it. Yeah.
So Pedro just waiting to start his lap. He's just gone through. That was Lister up into 7th on a 21.0. So we've got Pedro, Athwin and Moyland in the knockout zone at the moment, but Moyland is up on his time, heading down towards Parabolica. Keep it tidy. Comes across the line, a 20.2 to take him into 3rd place, so he's safely through.
James Al.
Oh,
is in contention here if Ashwin.
Oh,
he has.
Does. Ashwin up into 6th. That's James out in Q2.
But James's back's broke, or I don't know.
Maybe they're sharing the load this week. Johnny can carry the team. It's not like Johnny's inexperienced at carrying the Aston team.
Johnny's never been in a team. He's a solo driver.
This is true. Joined by reserves and standbys. As Pedro comes through with the 20.7, takes him up into 7th. So at the end of Q2, we will be saying goodbye to Venom, James Owl, Mrs. Kyle, and RJS. James saying he pulled a muscle.
James Al out in Q2. That's a shock.
Where did he quali last week?
Last week on Sleps instead.
Oh, we had the sprint last week. We qualified 6th, started the sprint 5th, and then 2nd in the race. Oh, screenshot. Don't forget screenshot. Or at least scroll through so it's on the stream.
Lister actually went through as well on the medium tyre.
Close with Lister.
It was close.
So Rumac spent all that time sat in provisional pole and ended up 9th with that time. Unlucky Venom. RPR always, GP2 always run full quali unless it's sprint. So you live and learn. You'll remember next week. James Al saying he ran his used Q1 tyres for Q2.
All I'm hearing is excuses.
He's got a big long list of excuses all lined up.
So first out is, I think it's going to be, it'll be Moyland. It's the first out of the pits.
Followed by Andreas.
And then Lister.
Andreas looking quite aggressive on the outlet. So will Moylan try and follow round and keep in the slipstream to get the benefit of the tow, or let Andreas disappear to give himself a clear run? We'll come to Andreas after his first run in Q3 to see what alien time is going to lay down. I have a feeling it's going to be a sub 19. So crosses the line. DRS open now on the run down towards the chicane at turn 1. There is an Alfa Romeo just making its way into turn 3. Don't think it's going to be close enough to cause any issue for Andreas. Rides that inside curb, keeps the car over to the right hand side, and launches it over the inside curb of the second chicane. Oh, the lap data's not turned on, that's why I can't see it. Back end looking lively round the first Lesmo, all under control out of the second Lesmo. DRS open, run now to Parabolica. No, it's not Parabolica, it's Ascaria. 52.8 through sector 2. Taking plenty of curb through Ascari. Now the run to Parabolica. A slight touch of brakes as he enters back on the power as early as possible, bringing the car over to the pit wall. A 19.4 for Andreas. What can Moylan do? A 120.7 from Moyland. Lister into the pits.
Evan, who you mentioned, saw he had a spin coming round the final corner.
Aslin into the pits, Pedro into the pits. Rumac starting his lap, Hobo into the pits.
What's going on?
Let's get Simhop running again because I can't see if they've got damage. That one, got too many bloody screens running. That one. Yes, Hobo had wing damage. Scotty's on a lap.
It's Rumax will be the first one across, then Scotty on the current out.
So jump on board with Rumax as he makes his way down towards Ascari and 53.9 through sector 2. A little way off, I think even 52.8, so second off the pace of Andreas through sector 2. Coming through Parabolica now, looks like Scotty's had a moment on the exit of the second Lesmo. Rumax very close to invalidating that line on the run to the line. A 21.4 from Rumax takes him into third.
He knows he's got better than that in him as well.
Scotty is without a front wing, so he'll be into the pits. So Hobo on his way back out. Pedro back out. Lister back out. Evan. No, didn't catch the rally in Moyland. Was following the alien that is Andreas round his first run. How much time did you lose with your rallying? Basically trying to find out if you've got an answer to Andreas's pace at the moment.
Now, Lister's going to be getting a nice toe off of Evan down the straights. The only thing that's slightly worrying is how close they are, and they're both actually on hot laps.
Yeah, they followed each other out the pits and not really left any space. So if Evan has a moment, that could affect Lister. Explored all of the Chicago grass. Not that much time, I don't think. Well, as I say,
and there's the moment. Oh, and he's out.
That's both of them out.
Oh dear.
That's commentator's curse if ever I've done one.
I blame it up, Rob. Yeah, I didn't say anything.
Both cars are off the track though. That was unfortunate. It's a risk you take when you run that close. Ooh, it's not that far off the track.
And he hasn't actually gone yet either.
He's just cleared now, but that looks like Hobo had to lift as he ran through the exit of Ascari to avoid Evan's car.
Oh, though, because he's looking quite good for. I don't think he did. 120.7 goes ahead of Moyland to P2.
2 thousandths ahead.
I think he needs to let little Danny out of the rig.
Yeah, Hobo. Stop letting little Danny drive. Sonny Stokes just coming around to start his timed run as Andreas does a 19.1. Oh, Sonny into the pits.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got bang on a lap of fuel left, so did he have a moment and bail?
Well, he was already on a lap there, so he'd already done a lap.
Must have had a moment. Scotty's back out on track. Is this the no, this is the start of his lap. It's got a yellow. I'm assuming that's for Hobo out of fuel. Pedro's invalidated. Andreas in lap. He's about to run out of fuel. So Pedro's currently second on 20.5, Hobo in third, Moyland 2 tenths up at the moment through sector 1, on the run towards Ascari, half a second up through sector 2, keeps it tidy through Ascari this time round. Not that we saw him going wide through Ascari last time. So Andreas feeling confident on that 19.1. Moyland just making his way through Parabolica.
Good.
19.5.
Too.
Great improvement from Moyland there.
Oh, he's looking. 120.3.
So takes Scotty into third place. Connie did manage to get back out for another run. So Womax, Connie and Ashwin all on out laps. his way around Parabolica. How much can he improve? Hobo opting to go for another run as well. He's on an out lap. So we'll stay with Rumax as he makes his way through 1 and 2. Back on the power for the long right-hander. Who's that behind? That's Pedro. Cutting the first couple of corners there. It's not going to make it round to start a lap. He's not got time. Completely missed Rumax's sector 1 time there as well to see his split. Find out what it is as he goes through at sector 2. He's down on his time by 400, so not improving at the moment. Can he find anything in the final sector? It's going to be Rumax, Aswin, and then Johnny. Hobo has made it across the line to start another run as well. As Rumax comes round the final corner, does find an improvement, takes him, well, it stays in 6th, but with a 121.1. Aswin currently hasn't set a time, a 53.3 through sector 2, and now as he makes his way round the Parabolica, bringing it back over towards the pit wall, goes up into 5th with a 20.5. Johnny Stokes straight up into 4th on a 20.3. So just Hobo to complete their lap now.
He's 5 tenths up.
That prime really helping Hobo out. Might have to go and buy a bottle now. See if it does the same for me on Monday. It's a 20.0. Great time from Hobo there to take 3rd. Won't there be a run on prime now? So there is the official top 10. Andreas takes pole, Moyland in 2nd, Hobo in 3rd, Scotty in 4th, Johnny Stokes in 5th, Pedro in 6th, Ashwin in 7th, Womax in 8th. Lister and Evan not able to set a time in the session after running into each other on the exit of Ascari. Again, that is the risk you take in qualifying when you're following that close. Don't think I either picked up a penalty for it though.
No, I didn't see any. You're brave going into that race, director.
It's at the end of the session, it's fine, I hope. Please don't cock up.
You got it recorded.
Yeah, it's all recorded. I'm a little nervous that nothing's happening now. Finally we get the countdown. Feel a little safer now. Quite why the countdown decided to take so long to come up, I will never know. Blame EA's. Oh, Jesus, 5 new messages.
Go.
Oh, you've been reported in tier 2.
By Hyder, by any chance?
Yeah, twice.
Like twice. That'd be hilarious considering that. Well, I have my opinion.
Another busy week for the stewards in TTFL. And we have got rain for the start of the race. This will make it interesting. I'd say with those times, most people would run in dry setups. If anyone in chat wants to tell us how long the rain's on for, that'd be handy. Let's put the telemetry on. So their first laps around Monza on the Inters. Probably the most important formation lap of the season so far. Trying to find your braking points. Feel the grip levels. It's going to make turn 1 even more interesting. Oh, I need to get a drink before this starts. Eeny, miny, beer.
What we have to say, what are we on this evening?
Foster's now. It's all I could grab when I was out earlier. I say out earlier, making it sound like I've got a social life. I was taking my daughter to youth club. Or dropping them off at youth club. Nip into the shop, grabbing some beers ready for tonight, and then sitting in the car park waiting for them to finish and stuff. A car park that annoyingly they're installing bloody pay-as-you parking meters. Sorry, the pay on foot one, so you get a ticket when you go in and have to put it in to get out. At the minute it's a pay and display, but if you sit in the car you don't have to pay. Or I think you're supposed to pay, but
You don't.
I don't. And when the traffic wardens come round, I just drive around the block and go back in. So everyone lining up into their pit boxes. No donuts from Andreas this week.
Warm those rears.
So in Tier 1 there was a jump start in both the sprint and the main race. So are they all going to keep it clean for the start? Right on board with Moyland for the start, and it's lights out and away we go. Scotty having a good start up into third, but Pedro getting back in front. Got bits of wing flying around in the background. Looks like everyone made it through relatively unscathed. A couple across the grass. Frenzy across the grass on the exit of turn 2. Moyland and Pedro battling up towards the chicane. Moyland getting very squirrely under traction there. Andreas pulling away in front, with Moyland under pressure from Pedro and Johnny behind. Even Scott is in on that battle as well. Hobo's lost out on the start, currently running in 6th. Venom close behind in 7th. It's Pedro going for a look up the inside on the entry to Ascari, but Moyland has that covered off. It's actually allowed Moyland to open the gap a little. Pedro now under pressure from Johnny Stokes. And breathe. Hassling past Mrs. Cole as they come towards Parabolica. Speedy looking up the inside. Does get the move done. Can he hold it down the straight as we've got James out into the pits? I wonder if it was James's wing that was bouncing down the start finish. Speedy and Speedy with the inside line into turn 1, manages to get it stopped without hitting the back of Athwin,
Oh,
gets a
bit
snap on
glitchy.
traction, allows Mrs. Cole to come back around the outside now into turn 3, and Mrs. Cole is in front. As I think that was the other Alpine of RJS running very wide through 3, and then misses the chicane under braking. Mrs. Cole's opened up a decent gap now back to Speedy. Johnny Stokes has got past Pedro, so Johnny's up into...
Everyone's out.
Where's Evan gone off?
The
Ascari. That's a VSC at the moment. So... I was going to say, if it was a full safety car, it'd help James Owl get back to the pack. As it's VSC, all the gaps should really be maintained.
Say that Moylan's made 3 attempts up and managed to get back in the game.
You were going to say in DRS, weren't you? There's no DRS because it's wet, and we're back under green conditions now. Andreas regaining that advantage after the restart. That's the worst thing with the VSC, if the restart comes in your mid-corner.
Oh, yeah. Very spread out between the top 4.
Rumac seems to be causing a bit of a train down in 9th place. You've got Athwin, dropped Mrs. Cole a little. The gaps between the top 4 have opened up. Venom right on the back of Scotty though. As Hobo goes very wide on the exit of Ascari. Don't think he'd have picked a warning up for that one, because he took that really wide line and stayed off long enough. So Andreas getting the fastest lap with a 27.5. Athwin and Rumax trading places as they go down the start-finish straight. Athwin is in front for the braking zone. Can he get the car stopped? As everything's starting to look a tad glitchy on the stream again.
It's just all over the back of Hobo.
Keep an eye on this.
We all know these two have a hate relationship.
Come together a few times in the past. Trying to work out if the rain looks like it's easing off. Different camera angles make it look more and less intense. Hobo going for a look as they come into Ascari, but Hobo has it. Lister going for a look, sorry, but Hobo has it covered off. Hobo closing in to the back of Venom. Venom's dropped back from Scotty by a second. So whether he had a moment, but Hobo's now in the slipstream as they come down the start-finish straight. Will he go for a move into turn 1? Pulls to the inside. Can he get it under braking? Wheel to wheel as they go round. I was half expecting a repeat of Max and Lewis, but they keep it clean. Hobo just losing out with Venom taking the wider line on the entry to 3, but Hobo coming back at him up the inside. On the run down to the chicane, that's Hobo in front, so Hobo back up into 6th place. The audio in this game sounds
Oh,
so out of sync. Was
oh,
there
Venom.
contact there between Hobo and Venom?
I was on board with Lister, and it didn't look like it. It looked like Venom might have just got the power down a little bit early.
So he recovered it well though, kept it out of the wall.
Lister's up the inside. And
Hobo round. Don't do a stroll. Don't get stranded. Gets it recovered. Didn't pick up any damage for that one, luckily for Hobo. Lister now under pressure from Venom. Venom getting a little squirrely round Ascari. This has dropped him back on Lister as they come down the start-finish straight. This is the better battle at the minute. Speedy's back behind Mrs. Cole. Closing in down the start-finish. Able to make a move on this occasion. He's got a Frenzy just behind him as well. What else have we got back? I think it's Venom and Lister is our other close battle. Rumax.
oh,
Venom's back end is very lively as he gets on the power.
Right that corner. Twice. Same place.
He's lost 7/10 recovering that slide.
Oh, approaching Rumac rather rapidly.
Mrs. Cole's dropped Speedy. He's a second behind now. He's right on the back of Rumax. Rumax with plenty of ERS to defend though. We've got nearly a full battery. Mrs. Cole down to 20% now.
Ashton, right, took the dive on Venom.
Got the move done, so that's Venom down to 8th. Ashwin up into 7th. Is Venom going to try and come back at him round 3? Night Sniper picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit entry.
Frenzy up into the back of Speedy now. Oh, did Lister have a moment? Or did Ash managed to get past Lister?
Venom went very wide through the exit of Lesmo 2, so I wonder if Lister did have a moment around Lesmo 1, which let Ashwin through. Oh, that's Speedy round. I think he clipped into Zodak as well. Zodak kept going, Speedy losing it, and has just reversed into the wall, which has broken his rear wing. He's going to have not a very nice time now. It's going to be horrible round Parabolica. Back's going to want to snap just like that.
Wow. Night Sniper.
And Speedy picks up 5 seconds for speeding in the pits. Retires. So it's James Owl's recovery back up into 15th now. Still a bit of work to do to get into the points for James. He could really do with a safety car. That's why there's a Red Bull in the mix up there. That's Andreas and Moyland lapping Night Sniper. Moyland only 1.5 seconds off of the back of Andreas now. Close the gap up a little.
Max his car's going. Oh, he yielded. Extremely. Didn't fight at all. Just give the place.
That's unlike Max. Mrs. Cole now up into 9th place. Bumax now has Frenzy on the back. Zodak not too far behind this battle as well. Aswin, Lister, Venom, although Venom's dropped back a little from Lister. So it's Aswin and Lister battling for 6th place. Scotty holding on to Johnny in 3rd as Johnny picks up a 3-second penalty. That may bite him later on, especially if there's a late safety car. Andreas takes the fastest lap again with a 26.6. Holland's holding pace with him though. They've broken away from Johnny and Scotty.
And Decky is round. Is that Lesmo one?
Yeah.
And
Night
Sniper is
Sniper.
out.
And there's the safety car that James needed to get on the back of the pack. So he's got time. Will he stay out or will he come in for a new set of inters? He's coming in. Might lose a place to Kyle.
He also comes in. And so does Decky.
They've got the time, so they'll be back out unless they're going for a wing. Oh no, they might end up getting lapped unless the leaders decide to pit. Oh no, they're out.
Well, James is, Kyle is.
Andreas is in, Moyland's in.
Johnny looks like he's coming in.
Scotty's coming in. Pedro's in. Everyone's coming in now for the new inters.
Which would probably indicate that it's probably
going to be wet to the end.
Wet to the end.
Drive-through penalty for Decky speeding under safety car.
Oh, there's a double stack.
Is that Pedro and Athwin?
It was.
Oh,
Ashwin got held up a lot.
So there. Out of that, Lister's come off the best in that because he's in front of Pedro. Pedro was up the road on him. There's RJS detail stops. So RJS stayed out and is currently now in 5th place. Everyone else has pitted. So Athwin will be on 11 lap old. RJS even will be on 11 lap old inters. Oh, don't yawn. Easier said than done.
Oh, I've been yawning since 6 o'clock.
It's complete lack of sleep. I don't remember the last time I actually had a decent night's sleep. Certainly not been this side of Christmas. But that's a whole different story that's not
For another
needed on
to-
the com stream.
for another time. Wow.
Tell you what I have been hammering lately though, iRacing.
Yeah, I heard you and Moyland have you started? Have you joined the league or?
No, we're just within iRacing you can create a team and add drivers to it. So you can they do official special events for teams. They're endurance races, so we're looking to do the Bathurst 12-hour at the start of February.
Is this actually a 12-hour race?
It's an actual 12-hour race. This weekend, in fact, would have started about 45 minutes ago. They're doing the Daytona 24-hour.
Daytona, it's just a circle, isn't it?
It's the road
Okay.
course, so it comes into the infield and then back out round the circle, the oval. Yeah, they used to do the Le Mans 24-hour as well, but a certain other company bought the rights to that, and well, anyone who hasn't seen the millions of memes and clips, it didn't run very well. But when iRacing ran it, you'd have, I think it was 300 or 400 splits. So each split would have 50 to 55 drivers in. And from reading some of the forums and that, it wasn't without issues at times, but generally it ran well. And when you're running a 24-hour race with 1,500 cars, as opposed to, I think the official one had 40 cars, and it was one server. But yeah, that was a farce. Although I understand Max's frustration.
Did we just lose Decky under the safety car?
I think he retired in the pits. But yeah, he did drop out during the safety car.
Sorry to get over this.
That's right. It's relevant to the race. It's fine. Yeah, I understand Max's frustration with the whole server issues and red flags and everything. Because, like he said, he put in a lot of effort in the practice for it and his build up to it. But sometimes servers go wrong, lobbies fuck up. But then they've had to pay to take part in that as well. I think the entry fees was a good chunk of money. So safety car in this lap, so Andreas now becomes the safety car. We'll stack the pack up. So yes, I think he's going to be under pressure on the restart from Lister and Venom behind. And Andreas is gone.
He's gone.
He's timed that just right to not get caught by the safety car again.
He also, I think he caught one as well.
He has pulled 8/10 on Moyland. Looking very squirrely under power there. As going to give Johnny more incentive to push to try and find a way past.
Pedro manages to get past Lister, and Venom gets past Lister.
And Lister have a moment under power coming out of the chicane. RJS holding on to 5th place, but is forming a bit of a queue behind him. Pedro looking squirrely out of Lesmo 1, gets a better exit on 2. So his battle for 5th is all the way back to 10th place at the moment. Pedro looks to have a better run coming through Ascari. Carries that momentum round the outside of RJS.
Looking as well.
Venom going the long way round. RJS just in front with the inside line, but Venom holding on.
Venom's depleted that battery to get past.
Big lock up into turn 1 for Venom, but manages to get the car round nicely. Great recovery from that lockup. It has opened up 8/10 back to RJS. Those worn inters us. Not giving him the traction on the exits, as Lister's right up behind him now as well. I think he's going to have to come into the pits, or he's just going to drop even further down the order. Anything to defend from Lister though. Lister's going to want to get past as soon as possible so he can try and claw back into Venom and Pedro. Misses Cole very wide on the exit from Ascari, which has given Ashwin the better momentum as they run down to Parabolica. Side by side, difficult to say if there was a little bit of wing to wheel contact there, but Ashwin taking the inside line, gets in front of Mrs. Cole.
Got a big run on Lister as well.
He has. It's giving him great traction.
Oh, is he going to get that stopped?
Oh, he ran deep into one. No, Ashwin got through. It was RJS that went deep.
No, it wasn't. It was Ashwin. He went into the side of RJS.
Oh, that's unfortunate for us. Oh, there are more stutters on my screen. Yeah, looks like
that was what it looked like from where I was looking anyway.
Trying to tell if he's got any wing damage. Doesn't look like it.
James is having a look at Hobo.
Going for it. It'll be up the inside into Ascari. Can he hold it? Hobo just has that covered off, and that's compromised James a little on the exit. Is now under pressure from Frenzy. Frenzy hammering his ERS as well. They're all about the same actually. They've all hammered it.
Hobo makes a nice move down inside of Mrs. Carl. And surely he's done enough there to make that stick. James is also
around the outside, get into turn 1. That's allowed him to close up on Hobo as well. Overspeed there. So James gets the move done, so it's James back up into 10th place now, back in the points, helping the team out again.
Frenzy's also got a nice run.
It's going to be round the outside on the entry to the chicane. Mrs. Cole coming across to cover off the apex. And the second corner nicely. It allows her to stay in front. Moylan's right on the back of Andreas now. I don't know if Andreas had a moment. Moylan's within half a second. Moylan did say towards the end of last season he feels more comfortable in the cars in the wet. Just have a better feel for what they're doing. Andreas pulling away down the straight, even with the slipstream. Delta just increases.
They've both got a very similar amount of ERS.
They are pulling away from Johnny in third, who's having a bit of a lonely race now.
Yeah. Lister's having a look at Ashwin round the outside.
Ashwin goes very tight on the curb there to defend. Lister now up the inside into the chicane.
Oh.
Contact.
I'm not really sure about who was actually at fault there.
Lister now drops down into 10th as James Al gets through. Hobo's sitting in 7th to come through all of that as well. I swear Hobo was behind.
He was in front of James. So James got past just Lister, Hobo got past Lister and
Ashwin. James looks to have a moment coming on the power out of the Ascari there. That's dropped him back a little from Ashwin. Frenzy still trying to find his way past Mrs. Cole. Does get it done down the start finish, but Mrs. Cole looking to the inside towards turn 1. Decides against it though. I just needs to stick with Frenzy and try and conserve some ERS to go on the attack. James getting closer to Ashwin again as they go through the second chicane. Womack picks up penalty for speeding in the pit and retires in the pit. James under traction is just losing the back end of that car.
Looked like Moylan got the traction out of.
I've completely forgotten about that battle at the front.
I've been on it for a while. It's a very, very tense. Andreas had saved an awful lot of battery and started to use.
I can hear my fridge vibrating, it's doing my head in.
Coming into the pits. Maybe
He has picked up damage. The game screwed him.
Oh, he onto softs.
I'd expect to see Ashwin back in for another pit stop because it's still raining.
I mean, that's not even a. You can't even accidentally switch off onto the softs because you've got mediums and hards between the softs and the inters.
Yeah.
So I mean, 7 laps to go. Even if it clears up now, do you reckon you'd be at dry weather before?
If it stopped raining, yes. But he's got to survive until that point. And it doesn't appear to be showing any signs of stopping. unfortunately sort of inevitable. That's going to be a full safety car.
Oh yeah, and we got two, RJS and Kyle, both diving into the pits at last minute.
They're going for new inters.
We'll be having a little look. I say it.
So who's staying out? Who's coming in?
I would, especially with how bad RJS's tyres were after the last safety car. I'd imagine we'll probably see everybody coming in.
Yeah.
Oh no, Andreas stays out. Looks like he makes the move to come in and
Does the dummy. Johnny stays out. Scotty stays out. Pedro's staying out. It's only Moylan that's come in.
Venom also staying out. Hobo's staying out. Yeah. Oh. Comes out.
ERS comes up just in front of Lister. And manages to get the car stopped and through turn one without issue, which on cold inters and he was pushing it out the pits to try and lose as few places as possible. That's a good effort to get that out, but he's got some work to do in probably 4 laps of racing by the time RJS and Kyle get back round to the pack.
Yeah, I imagine we'll probably have to fall 3 laps with how far behind they are.
I suppose we saw how quickly RJS dropped down the order.
Yeah.
So who's more than got to get past? Frenzy can defend well. James can defend well. Hobo, well, we know Hobo can defend. Yeah, he's got some difficult drivers to get past.
It's going to be very, very interesting, especially with those two at the back, RJS and Kyle, to see whether or not they can make full the advantage of those new inters once they catch the back of the pack.
Yeah, we're going to need 3 sets of eyes. Who's running? So Andreas and Johnny's tyres, same age, similar wear. Scotty's similar. Pedro's tyres are on 40%. The top 3 are on 25s.
What did Pedro do?
Hobo's on 30% on the front, 40 on the rear left, 35 on the rear right.
What do you think brought the extra wear?
I think, yeah, it's battling and running in the pack, because James's tyres are 35 front, 45 rear.
And he's a lap older than everybody else.
Frenzy doesn't care. Moreland's a new. Lister doesn't care. Mrs. Cole's 30 at the front, 37 on the rear.
Safety car in this lap.
So that's similar.
4 laps of racing.
So when will Andreas go this time around?
Be the same place it was.
No, he's leaving it later. Now.
There we go, he's gone. Johnny was onto that. He has.
Pedro on the attack around the outside of Scotty, gives him the inside. Venom coming through as well. Venom taking full advantage there. Scotty unfortunately losing out 2 positions. Venom gaining 2 as he goes around the outside of Pedro through turn 3. He'll have the inside for the entry to the chicane. It's going to put him on the outside for the exit. Pedro losing the back end a little. Compromises Venom's line. He's had to back out a little. I swear I just saw someone go flying off.
And Lister, he went off on Lesmo 1.
Moyland is past Frenzy and Hobo. I think Hobo's had a moment somewhere because Hobo's now down in 9th behind Frenzy. Moyland trying to go round James out through the exit of Ascari, but can't quite get it done. Looking up the inside into Parabolica, side by side through Parabolica, but those fresh inters giving Moyland the better traction to hold that line, and that's Moyland.
Oh, and there goes Scotty. Got a snap of oversteer coming out, final turn, and straight across into the wall.
So unlucky for Scotty. He was having a great race as well. Moyland, that rear end still very lively on the McLaren there, but holds on to it and stays in front with James out. That 3-second penalty is going to hurt Johnny here if the pack stays this close. Johnny is really keeping with Andreas though.
Yeah. Andreas does still have a full battery to use as well.
He doesn't seem to have the pace in the wet as he did in the dry. Because last week in the dry he disappeared out in front. Whereas this week, wet all race, everyone's been able to keep with him. I know we've had a couple of safety cars to bunch everyone back together. Moyland now up into 4th place. He might be able to do it. If he can clear Pedro, that'll be Moyland taking 2nd as it stands with Johnny's penalty.
Kyle's up the inside.
RJS looking to come around the outside as well. There's contact there between RJS and Lister. Front wing to rear wheel there. That's put RJS round and drop them off the pack.
Moyland really needs to get past Pedro here.
Pedro though with 30% advantage on the battery. Moyland needs to save his battery and deploy it on the traction zones now.
Oh,
but not doing that. Did he keep it out the wall?
Oh, yeah, he did. That was a very, very good recovery there from Moyland.
That's dropped him down into 5th place, putting him under pressure from James out. But I think those fresh inters have got that much better traction. He's able to pull that gap again as they run down towards turn 1. Moylan now closing back in on Venom for the second time after the restart. Big lock up into turn 1, but keeps it under control.
Oh, it's going to wiggle again.
Connie still within touching distance of Andreas out in front. He's nearly opened enough gap to hold on to that second place. He's definitely got third covered. As Venom's trying to defend from Moylan now. Venom with the ERS advantage over Moylan, but Moylan looking to try and make a move up the inside into Ascari.
Chooses to try and get the traction. Both got the battery, both depleting.
To try and go
Looks
round the
around the
outside.
outside.
Is he going to get the run to the line? Andreas crosses the line first. Johnny in second. Pedro promoted to second. Moylan comes across and takes fourth by 53 thousandths of a second. So Moylan recovered to fourth. Venom gets fifth. James Al recovered up to sixth place. Frenzy in seventh, and now the screen takes the leaderboard away. Great recovery drive from James there. Frenzy gets the game's driver of the day because Frenzy always does, starting last. I'm torn on who to... I'm going to give driver of the day to James. The recovery from being right off the pack. I know safety cars came into play on that. But he kept his head, kept it on the track.
It's a difficult one. I can't argue with James, especially being right at the back of the pack. Safety car did help him out a lot. So yeah.
So just to confirm the final finish in order, Andreas takes the win, Pedro in second, Johnny Stokes in third, Moylan fourth, Venom fifth, James Al sixth, Frenzy seventh, Hobo eighth, Kyle in ninth, Zodak takes the final point in 10th, Mrs. Carl in 11th, Lister in 12th, RJS 13th, and our non-finishers were Scotty, Ashwin, Wumax, Decky, Night Sniper, Speedy, and Evan.
What's that? Is that hobo fishing for a
Is it
driver of the day
fitting
punt?
for a compliment?
I don't know. I think it was the driver of the day punt, is what I think it was.
He did have a great drive. I don't know what happened on the start to Hobo. He dropped down the order after that great qualifying performance.
He had the incident with Lister through Parabolica, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about. There were so many things going on in that race.
Yeah.
For what at one point looked like it could become quite a drawn out affair, the battles were more at the mid and back of the pack. There was some really great driving again this week.
The safety car definitely bought the entertainment value for the stream back.
Yeah. So we will be back next week for... Where are we next week? Hungary. Everyone's favourite. The Hungaroring.
I did Moyland, and I can confirm that It was all right.
I saw it happen, but when I clicked onto your Moyland, all I could see was trees because the spectator camera was crap.
I was on board with him as he did it.
Yes, we'll be back this same time next week for Hungary. I'll be back on Monday with the driver's point of view for GP1 at Hungary. DXC Hobo will be providing commentary for that race as well, and he'll also be doing the DXT FIFA chairman games on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you like your football, that's definitely worth a watch. And I will have to get a link to the Discord and get it posted. So if you want to get involved, you can do. But thank you for joining me again, Vader.
No worries.
I'm going
Been fun.
to end the stream there, and we'll see you all next week.